Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Welcome back to episode 30 of the Altered States Unplugged podcast. I am one half of this dynamic duo, Kyle Strubing. Jojo is not here with us today, but I am not flying solo. I have today one of our franchisees, franchisee number four in the franchise, but number one in our hearts. The Colony Zone, opening the Colony location soon, Adrian Fernando. Adrian, how we doing today?
Good. How are you?
Good. We're doing the build out process and everything. It's going. It's moving, right?
Yeah.
Yes. I know. As we're sitting here, kind of in crunch time of when the store is getting built. Something Jojo and I are familiar with, but as we bring along franchisees, something they're not, but that's kind of what we're here for. So, Adrian, let's go ahead and get started. Tell me a little bit and tell the audience a little bit about yourself and your background.
So I grew up in Plano. I've been in here for 30 plus years. I've been in IT and cybersecurity roles for about 14 years now. And wellness is what I do in my spare time. So that's what made me want to open. Initially, I started floating in Plano as a way for recovery. I used to work out and lift 6 days a week, roughly. And a friend from work introduced me to floating. And I just realized, I need this. Like, if I'm going to work out at the level I'm working out at, like 1 to 2 hours a day, 6 days a week, I need a better way to recover. So I started floating weekly, and then I moved to Carrollton area, and I found a place closer, which ended up being Altered States Wellness in Coppell.
Yep.
So I started floating, and that was my first intro to wellness. And I'd seen natural medicine doctors and stuff like that at the time. And then Kyle said when I came into his store, hey, why don't you try infrared sauna, try cold plunge. So I was going to Altered States in Coppell to float, and then I ended up trying infrared sauna and cold plunge. I was like, this really helps me detox and helps with inflammation, helps me just overall feel better without medication. And I was sold on all of it.
Yeah, we created a monster, I feel like, right? Right. So Adrian touched on it. He kind of glossed over it, but Adrian was a customer in Coppell. And one thing I noticed about Adrian was, he was laser focused on a lot of these things. And we started talking and having conversations about I know a lot about a little. Adrian knew a little about a ton and even more. And so the two of us kind of developed a relationship talking about, what are some new cutting edge things? What is he trying and things like that. But what, I guess for you, what was the going from being a customer and being curious about it? What was what made you want to kind of get into this business a little bit?
So earlier this year, I had gone through some health issues over the past couple of years. And this year I was recovering from that. I went through a time where doctors couldn't really help me or figure out how to make me stay well. So that was why I saw so many natural medicine doctors. So this year in my recovery, I bought some red light panels and started doing that at home. I had done all the things like frequency, did a lot of light therapy. I would focus on grounding and walking in sunlight every morning in the first 30 minutes of the day. And then I started doing red light therapy every day. And that took me to the next level, I guess. I was realizing, why am I only doing this for myself? I could help other people in this and through this. If I have all the equipment at home, why don't I just open a wellness spa? And I had remembered Kyle, I don't know, maybe last year had told me, why don't you talk to me about a franchise when I went into the store one day.
Yeah, it was, all of a sudden I'm sitting there and at my computer, we're working and doing calls and stuff. And I see a name come up in a lead list or somebody scheduled a call. And I was like, oh, Adrian Fernando. And I was like, I recognize that name because he'd been in there a million times. And I looked in and I called him. I was like, dude, you're you, right? So we had this awkward, or at least it was awkward for me. And I was like, because you make those initial calls, you're like, who the heck is this on the other line? And it ended up being, and it was a super blessing. It was a blessing. So I know you talk about, you have a lot of different machines and things. And I know this and I'm pretty sure you're probably wearing one right now, right? Yeah. Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about that. Like what's your favorite service out of all the things that you kind of partake in? And then also, like, what are some of your wellness routines that you go through?
Yeah, so probably my favorite is light therapy and frequency therapy. I've probably invested the most for my location in those two things. So, like right now, I'm wearing a portable PEMF device, which is pulsed electromagnetic field.
Yeah.
And so I set my device to help with gamma brainwaves. So it's telling my body, essentially communicating to my body to produce more gamma waves. And it helps me focus. Like I use that when I work out in the mornings because it actually helps me focus instead of like caffeine sure is great, but this actually naturally helps me focus. So I'm running that right now. But I also do red light every day. It's probably my most favorite, just because it detoxes your body, helps with inflammation. And that's, I think, what I'm most excited about for the store is the Neoscience light bed and the Sedona wellness mat. Sedona is frequency, and it's like next level along with
Absolutely.
The Neoscience light bed.
Yeah, those two machines they're next level. So for those of you that don't know, there's red light in the Neo bed. There's red, green, and blue, and it's kind of can give you a combination of the three. So in the colony, they'll be able to really focus on symptom, for lack of a better term, but like symptom specific solutions. So there's different pre-programs at different angles of light, different strengths, different colors that can then help drive that actual result, right? And so we really want it to be results driven. So we're super excited for that. Tell me about your cat's wellness routine. I know you and I talked, and it's neat because I know that Adrian has used this with his cat. So tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah. So when I was researching red light panels back in probably March, I had compared Platinum to Mito red light, and in my research, I found Platinum didn't have good customer service, so I went with the Mito panels. I bought full body panels, and then I ended up calling your store actually, and I asked the front desk. I think it was maybe Abby at the time.
Yeah.
And I asked her what panels you guys use in the lab, and it ended up being the Mito panels, which is what I had just bought at the time. So I started the red light full body panels for myself. I got a massage table, mounted the panels on a stand, and I just started doing it every day. And then my cat just started getting on the massage table with me, and she would do it for hours a day. And so my cat is 14 years old. She had thyroid disease. I had to give her medication every day. She had chronic kidney failure, according to the vets. So they were saying her life expectancy was low. So in her doing red light for hours a day, like she would just get on the massage table and sit there and want me to turn it on. So I just turn it on every 20 minutes for her if she was there. And over months of time, I was able to fully get her off the thyroid medication. She doesn't have any issues, doesn't throw up. She's no longer sick at 14 years old. She's very healthy. She runs around. Pretty sure it helps her arthritis, maybe inflammation, all that stuff. So she's very healthy now. And in my vet checkup, the vet said, well, if red light, she wants to do it, it doesn't cause any bad side effects, so let her do as much as she wants. So anytime she's on the massage table, I just turn it on for her, and now she's healthier as a result. So
it's cool to see. We've seen a lot of, like, when we initially got into wellness and stuff, especially like with CBD, a lot of the topicals and everything originated in veterinary. So there's a ton of multiple applications for this. It's really cool to see. But you ran your own trial on your cat. Love it. What excites you the most about the wellness space? What gets you up? What's your why for this?
Yeah. So they say, like, what is a job you could do for no money? And this is it for me. So it's just, for me, it's about helping people. My mom has arthritis. She has some high blood pressure, heart issues. So I've been treating her for months at my house. Like, she knew my testimony about red light, how it's helped me. So she wanted to try it. And then my dad also does it for his neck pain and back pain and inflammation. And so my mom, she had severe arthritis pain. She wanted to, like, go to the hospital. And instead of her going to the hospital, she ended up coming to do red light every day at my house. And she went from, like, not being able to walk, barely being able to walk from her pain and arthritis to, she's walking. She works with me at the store also. So It's been a blessing to have her there. But I've really been able to help her and see the difference I've made in her life through, like, not having to take painkillers and stuff like that, see the doctor, hospital, all those things. So
yeah, that's been a big thing. That's, as we've gone through training, and I notice in how you've hired and things like that, just an overall purpose to, help people was a big thing. And that's definitely an overarching theme of that store. And that's the culture I feel like you've really built there. So I do want to commend you on that. One thing you touched on here, which I love, and I've seen firsthand, another overarching theme here for you is family. Now, we deal on a daily basis with your mom, Pam. Shout out, Pam, love her. And then Adrian's father as well has been rolling up his sleeves and helping out as much as he can, and even help me install some of the saunas. So there's a big family component, I think, to not only your everyday, but to the store in general. If you can kind of touch on that, maybe, some of the great things and the bonding, obviously, but maybe even some of the challenges. So touch on that for me, if you would.
Yeah. So I don't think I'd be able to start this location without my mom's help, since I work full time at my other job and have been this entire time.
Throughout the entire time. Yeah.
So my mom is definitely, like, a reason why I can start this. Without her, I didn't have anyone to do all these things. Like, I'm working in the middle of the workday. Like, right. I can't just leave my job and be there and get construction supplies and manage the contractors and all those things. So it's definitely a blessing to have her. And the joke is, she works for me for free, but as her payment, I treat her pain and all that stuff. So
yeah,
but it's also been a challenge, dealing with family. Sometimes I just get frustrated, and I don't know.
It's a challenge. I know, right? I work with my wife. It's a challenge, and it's, that's something that I commend you for working through. It's certainly not easy. Is there anything, to people that are working with their family, is there any communication strategies, or how do you manage some of that?
Yeah. I mean, like, I know when I'm at my capacity with stress, and I've learned to say, I can't talk about this right now, or just talk to me about this later, something along those lines.
The power of saying no, yeah. Right? Boundaries.
Having boundaries, yeah.
Boundaries, baby.
Being emotionally aware, yeah.
No, it's been great. Yeah, Pam has definitely been a key driver in this. So we definitely wanted to touch base or give her props here on this for sure. tell us a little bit, you touched on this with some of the machines and stuff, but go into a little bit of how this Colony store, how it's going to be a little different. Tell us about it. Where are you at mentally with it? I mean, I think it's coming together great. Where are you at with it?
Yeah. So since I've been doing wellness for some time, I know the difference in equipment quality. And a couple months ago, we had a call with Robin, who founded Neoscience.
Yes.
And they were talking about all the specifics of the Neolight bed. And from that call months ago, I was like sold. And I mean, sure, it's like 20 times the cost of the Mito panels, for example, but Neoscience light beds are medically backed. They're using research studies. So I knew the difference in quality because I had been doing, red light for a while. So I went out to another location in DFW, try it out. And at that time, they were the only location that had a Neolight bed. And then I was like, okay, well, this is what I'm getting.
We need this. Yeah.
I knew the difference, and I knew why it was worth it. I knew it would help a lot of people. So that was one reason I got the Neolight bed. And then the Sedona wellness mat, I knew the difference in frequency. Like, I've tried so many of these $1,000 PEMF mats, and they're okay, but the Sedona mat's next level. Like, yeah, it's 10 times the cost, but it is worth it for that level of relief of symptoms.
Yeah, we're real excited. That's one thing you've invested in heavily is the equipment. And that just shows your commitment to, driving that result and essentially helping people. That's definitely been a big thing. One thing I'll say about this Colony location is kind of its location is super accessible. It's massive. There's going to be a whole nother section. But yeah, the lounge room is it's going to be a lot more accessible to group parties and things like that. So we're real excited for you. And like I said, it's going to be right next to a 24-hour fitness. So we're going to be doing a ton of cold plunges. I know you guys have the lit method cold plunges here. So that's one of the things. I'm a cold plunger guy. I'm not as much of a light guy, but with the lit method cold plunge, it has over 4 inches of insulation on each side. So it's super quiet. And it can really drive and drop those temperatures that much colder. And it looks amazing, by the way, with the LED lights. So yeah, I'm going to move on here and just ask you real quick, what has your franchise experience been like?
It's been good. Initially, I compared it to like Chick-fil-A. That was the recent franchise I could think of. And I was like wondering why some of the costs were so high. And then I realized later on down the road, I was like, oh, I'm paying for Kyle and JoJo's business experience. Like, That's why. Like, I saved a lot of money by getting one used float tank, and Kyle vetted it for me. So they flew up to wherever it was,
Omaha, Nebraska.
Yeah,
the bustling metroplex of Omaha, Nebraska.
So they flew up there. They said it looked great, good condition. It's gonna look brand new. Everything works. And once again, I have no idea. Like, I could never fly up, evaluate a float tank, and then transport it so many thousands of miles down to Dallas, disassemble it, all the things. So that was like, I was like, oh, that's what I'm paying for. Like, I'm paying for their experience in this because I have no idea about those things. Like, I don't know how to market all of those different things that, come with starting a business up. And initially, before I signed a franchise agreement, I had thought about it like, do I want to do this on my own, or would it be better to go with the franchise? And that's why I chose to go with the franchise is, one, I've been working another full-time job. Yeah. And two, like, I don't have that business experience, even though I do have the wellness experience.
Yeah, the ability to take it from a passion to a business and essentially monetize it. Yeah, it's what Adrian talked about for us. It's important for us to, I always say, like, my goal is to hit home runs for you guys. One of which is to source equipment as cheap as we possibly can. And if it takes me flying to Omaha, Nebraska and making it happen, we're there for it for sure. No, I appreciate that. That was great. But cool. We're going to wrap it up here just with a quick, why don't you tell us a little bit about your grand opening, how that day is going to look like?
Yeah, so I'm really excited. I've talked to several different wellness companies around the Metroplex. We'll have food, free drinks, we'll have free mini services. I have various providers coming out, like one natural medicine provider, nutritionist, things like that are going to complement the experience of the grand opening as well.
Yeah, we'll be doing, the usual that we do. We do have the mini services. We'll be doing giveaways. We're going to have vendors. I'll be out there giving tours till my feet fall off and all that good stuff. But yes, Adrian, I appreciate you hopping on. Is there anything else you want to tell everybody? Definitely come out and check the Colony location out, right? Anything else you want to say to the people?
I'm definitely excited about these massage chairs. There's zero-G massage chairs in the lounge.
He always goes back to the equipment. I love it. Yes.
Definitely check those out at the grand opening.
Yeah, for sure. Cool, guys. Well, we have that grand opening coming up. Make sure to like, follow, share. If you have any questions about any of this stuff, feel free to reach out to us directly via social media or at alteredstateswellness.com. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you guys next time.